That is the new Mazda 3. And I'm not talking revised new, I'm not talking given a makeover new or given an update new. I'm talking completely new era new, new generation new. What? It looks like the last one. Okay, well let's unbuild that and rebuild the previous generation. There it is, look at it. With its big smiley face. Okay, let's unbuild that and rebuild the new generation car. There we go, look at that face. It looks like it wants to eat you with that giant grille and those sleek K lights, and all the area underneath it's gone all smooth. Let's look at the side profile. Now this is obviously the hatch. The sedan arrives mid-2019. That's what it looks like up there. Some people reckon the sedan looks better than the hatch. I think they've got rocks in their head. This is stunning. Now let's rebuild the previous generation car. There, look at it. You've got creases going over the front wheel guard, creases going over the rear wheel guard. They meet kind of in the middle. Let's rebuild the new generation car. No more creases, they've all gone. It's totally smooth. And the big controversial feature here is that seat pillar at the back there. It's really, really chunky. How does it affect visibility and your blind spot? We'll find out when we get to the driving. Let's look at the rear. Okay, so the back of the car. Let's rebuild the new generation car. There it is there. Now, as you can see, they have moved the number plate low, they've smoothed out the tailgate, and those taillights have been redesigned as well. Let's take a look inside.
Oh, hold on there, Richard. Aren't you forgetting to tell them something? About the changes to the Mazda 3 lineup. Oh, Richard. Turn to page 86 of the Mazda 3 booklet, the one the Mazda people gave you at last night's presentation. Right. The new Mazda 3 lineup has two engines, both petrol, a 2-litre called the G20 and a 2.5-litre called the G25. Now, there are 5 different grades, but you can't just have any engine with any grade. The G20 comes in what's called the Pure grade, Evolve grade, and the Touring grade. The G25 comes in the Evolve, the GT grade, and the Estina grade, which is the car behind you right now. List prices range from $24,990 for the G20 Pure with the manual gearbox to $37,990 for the G25 Estina with the auto transmission. Yep, all come with a choice of auto or manual. Still with me? Let's look at the standard features. Pure and Evolve grades get cloth seats, the higher ones leather. All grades come with a head-up display and dual zone climate control, except for the Pure. Now, working our way down the list, Richard, keep up please. Ambient temperature display, yes. Cup holders, yes. Door bottle holders, yes. Glove box, what? Oh, yes. And then radar cruise control is on everything. All of them also get paddle shifters apart from the Pure. All get LED running lights and LED headlights. All cars come with an 8.8-inch screen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. They also have a digital radio, sat-nav, and the top 2 grades have a 12-speaker Bose sound system. The list of safety features is extensive. All grades come standard with AEB, which works forward and backwards. They all have traffic sign recognition, blind spot warning, lane keeping assistance, and rear cross-traffic alert. If you want to read the full review, go to carsguide.com.au. Oh, and give us a like. Oh, and subscribe. You know you want to.
Okay, all right, let's have a look inside.
First things first though, this is what the previous generation cabin looked like. And now let's look at the new generation cockpit.
Okay, as the ye olde Richard in the sky said, we are in the G25 Estina. That is the poshest Mazda 3 you can get. It sits at the top of the lineup. If you can't afford it, don't worry. I drove the G20 Evolve yesterday and it looks pretty much identical to this one. You don't get the leather seats, you get cloth seats, but they are so super comfortable. You don't get heated seats, but come on, toughen up. And you don't get power adjustable seats either. But the craftsmanship is amazing, from the dashboard to the steering wheel to everything about it. It's just so well built. Let me show you the back. Now, I am sitting behind my driving position here. Now, because of the way the backs of the seats are carved out, I do have a little bit of space to move my legs, but I'm right up against it. Headroom is coming down too. It's almost at the point where I can't fit my hand in there. I really wouldn't want to be sitting back here for too long, but look, it's unlikely that someone my height is going to be sitting behind someone my height. Let me show you the boot. So the new generation Mazda 3's boot is a bit smaller than the previous one. So if you're going to be using this as a family car, I would probably take your pram, if you've got one, to the dealership and just make sure it fits. If it doesn't, I'd suggest stepping up to, say, a Mazda CX-5. That might do the job. Oh, let's go for a drive. Now, this is the first time we've driven it on Australian roads. Well, actually, it's not. We drove it in St Kilda. James Cleary, our deputy editor, drove the new Mazda 3 in St Kilda, but only for about 10 minutes. So that's not That's not a proper go. And Matt Campbell also drove the car, but he drove it in the United States, in Los Angeles at its international launch. So different roads over there, different spec cars, different suspension, all that type of thing. So this is really our first proper test of the car on Aussie roads. And Aussie roads are pretty different. We've got a very coarse chip bitumen for the majority of our roads. So it's really going to test that work they've done for NVH, which is noise, vibration and harshness. So all that noise that comes into the cabin. Well, actually all the noise which doesn't come into the cabin, which I'll get to in just a minute. Now, the previous generation Mazda 3 was pretty darn good. It was great to drive, and it was probably the more premium feeling and looking of the small affordable cars. But then the new generation i30 came out and upped the stakes in terms of that premium look and feel, and also in terms of value for money and safety and all that type of standard equipment, which was really impressive. The new generation Corolla came out, and then suddenly a Corolla was sexy. Yes, they managed to do the impossible over at Toyota, and they turned the Corolla into something which is desirable. Then along came the new Ford Focus, the new generation Ford Focus at the end of 2018. A really good car, but also pretty pricey compared to its rivals. And then we had the new Kia Cerato come out, and in a hatch form that looked quite different from the previous generation. And the value for money proposition in that car was incredible. The drive away deals they were offering were really, really impressive. And now we've come full circle. We've got the new generation Mazda 3 here, and they have really stepped things up again. So what Mazda have done with this new generation car is refined it even further. And I'm not talking about nice feeling materials and shiny bits. It goes further than that, like a lot further than that. Like, it's extreme. I'll explain. So the launch of the car, during the presentation, they showed this video to us to talk about how head movement and body movement in the car has been reduced. That's how far they've gone with this. And they showed a video of a guy driving over a speed bump, and they had a camera showing his face as he went over the bump. And when he went over the bump in the old car, his head went like this. When he went over the bump in the new car, his head went like this. A little bit less. That's the type of extreme lengths that Mazda's gone to try and make it even better. Also, the tyres that they use in this car as well squash in more than the last one. So the last ones are quite hard. These ones are a lot squashier. So when you go over a bump, they actually deform more, so it's like a shock absorber itself. So you don't actually get more of a bump in the car. It actually deforms in the tyre itself rather than, make you go, like that. That is what they're doing. Also, with the structure of the car itself, it flexes, like they all do. But what Mazda have done is they've actually put in bits of foam. I don't even know if it's foam, but what it is like damping material inside the structure so that when it goes around the corner, the flex is kind of cushioned so that there's less movement inside the car. It's incredible. And these seats are awesomely comfortable. These are the leather ones, but I actually find the cloth ones on the base spec car to be a little bit better fitting. I'm probably not supposed to say that, but yeah, I prefer the cloth ones. And the way they're designed, they've been specially designed for your back so that it keeps your pelvis upright and the natural S sort of shape of your spine as an S shape. So I'm telling you now, these are beautifully, beautifully comfortable and supportive. I actually want to have one of these as like my office chair that I can work in. That's how good they are. Then there's insulation which blocks out road noise. These floor mats on the ground here have been specially designed so that they absorb and they trap sound. So after all that crazy effort, did it work? What's it like to drive on Australian roads? Well, look, we're on a pretty bad Aussie road here. It's very coarse chip bitumen and there's potholes everywhere, and I can still hear road noise coming through. But then again, I've got a feeling that if I was in the previous generation car, it'd be a lot louder in here. So the total effect of all the effort that they've put into is one, you don't even realize that that's happening at all. The experience is a lot more tranquil, serene, and pleasant when you drive. That steering is quite direct, it's quite quick. By that I mean you turn the wheel and the car turns. That sounds silly, but some cars have a bit of a lag, a slow steering. And the more direct, quick steering like we've got here is fantastic for sporty driving. What's also really good for sporty driving is the positioning of these seats. They have you sit quite low, they have your hip point low, and you feel like you're part of the car rather than sort of sitting on top of it. It makes for a far more engaging drive. Now in terms of visibility is great. These A-pillars are set back so I can see around them without any problems at all. Now in terms of visibility out the back, that might be a bit of a different story. The only way to demonstrate that to you is with something that I call berry vision. All right, now we're going to park right here. So we put it into reverse. Now this is what I can see. Now as you can see, there is a blind spot, but that rear vision mirror is quite good. Rear view camera is quite good. And then we have it. That's the blind spot there. Yes, that C-pillar does create a blind spot. I don't think it's anything really to worry about much. Your wing mirror is good, your rear view camera is also good. Although the way that steps up there at the back there, it's not going to be too much fun sitting back there. I wouldn't want to spend too much time back there. Anyway, that was berry vision. Let's get on with the rest of the road test. Okay, engines. You've got two petrols. You've got the G20, which is a 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine, and you've got the G25, which is a 2.5 litre 4-cylinder. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, the 2-litre does feel like it's got to work really hard. And on a few of the steeper hills that we came up on earlier, it feels like it runs out of puff a little bit. You jump into the 2.5 litre and you can feel the difference immediately. So I'm driving the G25 Estina here. It's got the 2.5 litre engine, but you don't need to step up to this car to get that 2.5 litre engine. You can actually get it on the Evolve grade. And I reckon the Evolve grade's perfect. There's really not a whole lot more equipment that you need. So if it was my money, I'd get the Evolve grade with the G25 engine. And to me, that is the perfect combination in terms of value for money and engine. So there you have it, the Mazda 3, from previous generation to new.